dear students. Welcome you all for our history online class. Dear student, in the previous lecture, we have already started our social studies first chapter, Evolution of Mankind. Story of human evolution. I told you the meaning of evolution. Remember, evolution of mankind means मानव जाति का विकास. Got it? We also learn that human-like animals that walk upright were known as hominids. The second type of early human livings on the earth were Homo erectus, which means person who walks upright. And the final type of hominids living on this earth were Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens means person who can think. All humans living on the earth today are Homo sapiens. We also learn about sources, evidences of history. There are two types of sources, archaeological sources and literary sources. Archaeology means digging up the past, and it is a systematic study of past cultures and the way people lived based on objects and materials they left behind, such as tools, pottery, graves, buildings, etc. We also discussed about the different types of tools. Then fossils. Then animal bones and skeleton inform us about vegetation, climate, temperature, etc. Then pottery, artifacts, cave paintings and jewelry. We also learn about megaliths. Megaliths, these are huge stones dug out at most burial sites. They inform us about the religious beliefs and custom of the early man. Then shelters. Besides caves, the early men used wood, branches of trees, hides, bones of large animals to make its shelters. Then coins. The study of coins is called as numismatics. We get lots of information from coins. We also learn about the personal character of the ruler, the span and their rule, and the extent of their domain. Then we learn about the old buildings and monuments. I told you the example of Qutub Minar and Taj Mahal. Historical buildings, monuments, temples, forts, palaces are the example of old buildings and monuments. Here is the picture of ancient building and monuments. Today, we learn the literary and documentary sources. A handwritten record of an event is called a manuscript. मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट किसे कहेंगे हम? मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट हैंड रिटन, जो हाथों से लिखा होता है Handwritten record. Handwritten record of an event is called as a manuscript. The first written script was in the form of pictures. जो फर्स्ट रिटन स्क्रिप्ट थी वो पिक्चर की फॉर्म में लिखी गई थी और उस स्क्रिप्ट को पिक्टोग्राम कहा जाता है। पहले के ज़माने में लैंग्वेज इतना डेवलप नहीं था, सो पीपल्स ड्रॉ डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ पिक्चर्स टू एक्सप्रेस themselves. The script was called pictogram. In the ancient time, learned people wrote on stone, clay tablets, or leaves of trees like the Bhojpatras and the parchments. The skin of goat and sheep. Written records of ancient India can be divided broadly into the following categories: religious and secular text. Second, memos. Third, chronicles. Fourth one is travelogues and accounts of foreigners. Now, student, will take deep information about these four. First one, religious and secular text. रिलीजियस एंड सेकुलर टेक्स्ट क्या होते हैं? जो हमारे रिलीजन से रिलेटेड होते हैं, धार्मिक होते हैं, पवित्र होते हैं. दिस फोर वेदास मेनली ऋग्वेदा, सामवेदा, यजुर्वेदा एंड अथर्ववेदा. There are four important Vedas, namely Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharvaveda of the early Vedic period are very important written sources of ancient history. Ancient history के बारे में बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन हमको इन चारों वेदों से मिलती है. ब्राह्मणास, अरण्यकास and the Upanishads are the expansion of the Vedas. And India's two great epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, threw a flood of light on later Vedic life, rites and rituals, customs and traditions, and the value system of that period. These are very useful sources of reconstructing history of ancient India. Dear students, same topic we learn in 4th standard also. Jatakas contain stories of the previous lives of Gautam Buddha. They are concerned with the previous births of him in both human and animal form. The Jatakas throw light on the political, economic, social, cultural conditions between 3rd and 2nd century. जटाकास में जो स्टोरीज लिखी गई हैं इनसे हमें उस समय 2nd सेंचुरी, 3rd सेंचुरी की पॉलिटिकल लाइफ, इकोनॉमिकल लाइफ, सोशल लाइफ, कल्चरल लाइफ, इन सब के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है. बानास हर्षचरिता, द लाइफ ऑफ हर्षवर्धन. बानास हर्षचरिता, हर्षचरिता नाम की जो बुक है वो बाना ने लिखी है, जो सम्राट हर्षवर्धन की लाइफ से रिलेटेड है. सम्राट हर्षवर्धन की लाइफ को फोकस करके लिखी गई है. पंचतंत्रा, you all having idea about Panchatantra. We see various types of stories on YouTube or TV. And Manusmriti are very useful written sources of history. Equally important is the Sangam literature. Sangam literature is written in Tamil between 500 BC and 500 AD. This was patronized by the Pandyan rulers of Madurai, and this literature also throws a flood of light on life of the socio-economic, political-religious, and conditions of that time. Memos. Memos means what? Memos are biographical and historical accounts written from the personal knowledge about a certain ruler by the author close to him. For example, Babar wrote Babarnama. Remember, in this category falls the biographical account of King Harshavardhana by Banabhatta, his court poet. Banabhatta was the court poet of Samrat Harshavardhana, entitled Harshcharita. Bilhanas, Vikramadevin Charita, Chandabardai, Prithviraj Rasu, Sandhyakas Ramacharitam are others very useful and important source of written history. Do you know history in depth? See this picture. The palm leaves were cut into pages and tied together to make books. पहले के ज़माने में आज के जैसे बुक्स अवेलेबल नहीं थे कि बस हर एक पेज पर लिखा जाए। तो आप इस पिक्चर में देख सकते हैं कि पाम लीव्स है जिस पर लिखा गया है और वो सब एक साथ रहे, जुड़े रहे, इसलिए उसे टाइड अप करने की कोशिश भी की गई है। क्रॉनिकल्स. A chronicle is an account of event in order of time. Chronicles हमने 4th स्टैंडर्ड में भी पढ़ा है। Chronicles में क्या होता है, कौन सी चीज़ें कब हुई है, पहले हुई है, बाद में हुई है, ये हमें पता चलता है। These were kept by certain rulers in their courts. For example, Abul Fazl, an eminent historian in Akbar's court, wrote 2 important chronicles, namely Ain-e-Akbari and Akbarnama. अकबर के कोर्ट में अबुल फजल नामक व्यक्ति ने अकबर की 2 इम्पोर्टेंट क्रॉनिकल्स लिखी, फर्स्ट ऐन-ए-अकबरी एंड सेकेंड अकबरनामा. The first one informs us about the legal and the revenue system in Akbar's period, and the second one tells us about Akbar's life and other Mughals in general. Travelogue and accounts of foreigner. Travelogue. What is meant by travelogue? A written account of a traveler, observation of things and events. Greek historian Herodotus, in his book Histories, has given an account of the invasion on India. Invasion क्या होता है? Attacks. Okay. India by Davis in the 6th century BC. Historian Arrian's account relates to the invasion of Alexander on India in the 4th century BC. Megasthenes. Megasthenes was the Greek ambassador in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. He wrote his famous book Indica, which gives us information about the Mauryan rule in the 4th century. Fahian, another Chinese historian, visited India in the 5th century. फाहियान नामक चाइनीज हिस्टोरियन थे जिन्होंने इंडिया को विजिट किया था 5th सेंचुरी में। तो उन्होंने जो बुक्स लिखी उससे भी हमें बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है। Another Chinese scholar, Yat-sen, 7th century. He came to India in 7th century AD, who studied the Nalanda University and has given a detailed account of Asha's time, his religion, and his administration. Similarly, Al-Biruni, an Iranian scholar, came to India in 11th century along with Mahmud of Ghazni. He wrote his famous book titled Tariq al-Hind or Kitab al-Hind. From the above study of the archaeological and literary sources of history, we can reconstruct the path both of the prehistoric and historic periods. Literary sources of history we can construct the past. हमें पास्ट के बारे में पता चलता है और बोथ ऑफ द प्री हिस्टोरिक एंड हिस्टोरिक पीरियड्स के बारे में भी हमें पता चलता है।